Now, those are more benign in the grand scheme of viral types of challenges. This one is just plain disgusting. What's been happening with the licking of the ice cream at stores, the really gross situation where a woman walked into Walmart, ended up utilizing Listerine, spitting it back in the bottle. Joining us now to talk about what makes people do this stuff, Lee Richardson from the Brain Performance Center. You may follow her at Brain Center DFW. Lee, I really am curious because it's not even just an age thing. We're talking about adults that are doing most of these dumb challenges with the food, these things that are really gross. When I hear something like that, I would never be tempted to travel down that path. The exact opposite. What is it that makes people tick, that compels them to do something that is so inappropriate in addition to just being gross?
Well, I've thought about that. I actually watched that video, and it's so inappropriate. It so lacks respect. It so lacks respecting boundaries. I don't know about you, but I raise my kids. You don't touch what's not yours unless you ask permission. But, I think what's driving them is social media. She did it to get her 11 million views. And I don't know what worries me most. She did it to get the 11 million views, or that she got 11 million views.
Well, that's a good point, because obviously there's an audience for such stupidity. I think back to the MTV show Jackass. What was that, about 18 years ago when it came on? And as soon as there was a show on TV called Jackass where people did really stupid stuff where they could get hurt and it was successful, I knew that we had problems. And I guess this is the evolution of it. What you're saying is that some people are so desperate for attention that they're willing to do whatever they can to get it.
And they will do anything that they know people will watch. Walmart, they've received unnecessary grief because of people's stupidity and how they're looking at things. They have a corporate social responsibility. How do I deal with this? A lot of people's reaction to that, what happened was they should be persecuted. They should be put in prison. I definitely think that we need to have consequences. I'm not sure what those consequences are, but I do think that there need to be some boundaries need to be put in place.
Lee, I'm curious to know how much of this, in terms of what animates people, is the way they were raised and their system of values versus something where they're kind of wired towards excitement or the taboo. How much of this is hereditary versus learned?
Well, behavior is learned. We learn what we see modeled in front of us is what we learn. So I think that there's a part of it that's definitely learned, but I think that there's also how your body works. When your brain throws that sympathetic system out of whack, you get in that fight or flight mode, and those adrenal glands start kicking out all that cortisol. It puts you in a state of hyperarousal. And when you get in that state of hyperarousal, you're more impulsive, that risky behavior. You're not thinking through what you do. But if you look at this video, this young lady clearly thought through what she did.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she staged this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, this is a different type of behavior because she thought through what she did. I think she has learned from her. She has a buddy that has started it with the ice cream and on Twitter. And she's learned, if I do this, I'll get a lot of attention. I'll get my 11 million views.
So we do need to make sure we teach our children and don't take for granted. Thanks, Lee. Appreciate it. Lee Richardson from the Brain Performance Center at Brain Center DFW.